Here we are on the 2nd of August 2023, and I am out walking with Smudge. And it's nearing my, hello darling, my 51st birthday. And this year I'm really reflecting on the fact that I thought I would be all well and clear of anything to do with cancer and cancer treatment 3 years after the event. And this week it's Wednesday, and I have needed to see a medical specialist and receive new medication for ongoing problems with my shoulders as a result of the reconstructions. And I have seen a clin who specialises in trauma because my neurology is all skewif. We know that because of the amount of migraines that I'm having, but being in this much excruciating pain for as long as I have is now causing changes to my brain and the way I function and the way I do things. So 3 years after cancer treatment, did I expect to be still in this stage of what I feel like is incapacity? I know a lot of you who know me or see me think I look great, and I present myself on social media like social media is a PR company. So marketing my business or the courses that I'm running or the summits or the symposium that I'm running, I put on a very different face to the reality of me coming in and doing these video blogs. So I've had the privilege this last week to talk to 3 women who are breast cancer survivors but navigating some pretty awful stuff. One facing a mastectomy and a DIEP reconstruction. One who's got secondary cancers when she thought she was all over her breast cancer. And another lady a woman who's re-popped back into my life. She was incredibly supportive to me because we were going through our diagnosis and our surgical treatment at the same time. And then we kind of stopped communicating, and we both now realize it was because we were both suffering with incredible shoulder dysfunction and pain and headaches, daily headaches. And it was as a result of one of my videos that she was empowered to reach out and go, I know exactly what you're going through. This is what I'm living with every day too. So that's brought to mind a couple of things. Number one, I chose the path that I chose for my cancer treatment because I wanted to go fast. I didn't want to have to, hello gorgeous. I didn't want to have to live with lingering treatment options and decisions over my head. I wanted the reconstruction done straight away because I knew I probably wouldn't go back for it, and I didn't know if I could live with that level of my perceived disfiguration. I wanted it all finished as quickly as I could. No, I needed to be in control. It's a part of my personality. It's a part of how I process and turn up in the world. So I don't regret going so fast, but I think the downside of going fast now is that this recovery period, I can't rush this. It will go at its own pace. My body it's almost like it's saying to me, if cancer didn't slow you down, then your recovery from all your treatment is going to have to slow you down. So if you don't believe in the metaphysical or the energetic or the spiritual aspect to what happens when we start chopping into our bodies, I don't know anybody that I've ever worked with or met that's gone through this level of cancer treatment who hasn't had some type of identity or spiritual crisis come awakening. So you need to be prepared for that, or not wish it away or ghost yourself about it. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is the importance of community and having people around you who get it and get you and want to get you. They won't necessarily come from your treatment providers, just saying. There are a lot of support groups and a lot of support for newly diagnosed people, which is great. Like, I'm not saying that don't get involved. But what I've noticed is that there comes a point, and I know for me, and I've spoken to a couple of people about it, but if this is happening for you, please feel validated. there comes a point when you don't want to hear and help anyone else through their newly diagnosed status story anymore, because it gets to a point where you realize you're still living with stuff that no one's talking about, that you haven't got a forum or a network or a community to go to. Now, I'm not in a position capacity-wise to build that formally, but it is starting to happen on my YouTube videos. So I'm pleased that I can offer that right now. But I do think that that gets to a point where and one of the reasons why I'm not working clinically is I just can't deal with those newly diagnosed stories, those new traumas, those when it's so raw and so real and so fresh, because I feel like I've been living with raw, real and fresh now for 3 years, and it wasn't supposed to be like this. I wasn't supposed to need to go to the pharmacy every week to refill prescriptions and feel like a drug addict. That's my internal talk. That's nobody putting that on me. I wasn't expecting to have a 2-page migraine management plan that I take with me everywhere in case I need an emergency room admission, and they've got a piece of paper so they don't treat me like a drug addict, because that happens. I wasn't expecting to not be able to swim. That was one of the things I was so looking forward to, because my shoulders are a little bit shredded at the moment. I wasn't expecting to still need to be receiving an income protection benefit, which I'm grateful that I have and understand that I'm privileged to have it, but I don't want to have to be claiming it. I want to have the unlimited capital that I used to enjoy when I had full-time work capacity. So there's significant limitation going on in my life. And the fact that I can actually be out here walking with Smudge today is incredible, because there are days I can't or I shouldn't, but I still do. So the last few months for me have been all about learning to take pressures off. Pressures that I've learnt that are supposed to be helpful in my line of work as a rehabilitation counsellor. Exercise doesn't cure everything. And sometimes our desire to help people heal pushes them into unhelpful, then you feel like you're failing in your recovery. And I think I've talked about that before. So 3 years on, I don't have cancer, but I live with the fear of it coming back every year. I don't have cancer, but I am well and truly traumatized by the treatment and the treatment of various medical professionals, and just the invasion of medicine and what it took from me. I don't have cancer, but my business has shrunk by more than 2/3 since this all started. I don't have cancer, but I have complicated soft tissue injuries in my shoulders because of the way I couldn't move my body and was reliant on my arms while after going the amputation and reconstruction. I don't have cancer, but I have now uncontrolled treatment-resistant migraine, of which I'll have 19 days a month because of an allergic reaction to a medicine, because of all the trauma that my body went through, and because I have tried to be in control of this process so much. So I don't have cancer, but this is what I'm currently left with. And I appreciate that you watch these videos and that you feel validated by them, and that we can have real talk about it. And this is not for sympathy, this is the reality. And I really want treatment providers and allied health professionals and insurance professionals and underwriters and surgeons to watch these videos so that you can come to your work with the trauma-informed perspective that I think you all need to help people like me recover. Because no amount of algorithm or behavioral economics will predict how I will recover, and how the next person will recover, and how the next person will recover. We are humans first. We are people first. May this inspire you. May it encourage you. And Smudge and I are now going to navigate our way back to the car.